an expert's word over it as well. We have our very special guest joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Jyoti Gupta. She's the principal, K.R. Mangalam World School and director of Sri Ram Universal School, Ghaziabad. Thank you so much for speaking to News9. Dr. Gupta, let's first speak about all the highlights that Prime Minister Modi has, spoken about while he addressed so many students to not to take too much pressure while the examination is looming on their head.
Yeah, so it was a very holistic kind of advice that our Honorable PM has given to these young children. It is not just about how to appear for the examinations and how to combat the stress, not compete with others, but compete with yourselves. Also, how to sleep well, how to eat well, how to also play, how to also dance, how music is also important. So, the holistic development of the children and advice to the parents, advice to the teachers, advice to schools to save the environment. He talked about the climate change. So it was about the holistic development of the children that he was talking about. And it's not just one exam or one day that he spoke about, but he spoke about the entire life that these children are either leading or they are going to be leading later on. So it was an holistic advice that was given to the children, the expectation that is there from schools, from the teachers, from the parents, everything was so well articulated. I would say that not only the children should see this, but all the parents and all the teachers should see this also.
Also talk about, since you are saying how holistic it was an holistic approach by the Prime Minister. Let's also speak about how he chose a nursery to address the student this time around. It also adds on to the messaging that the Prime Minister is trying to share with the students.
Absolutely, the environment. He took them out for meditation. He took them out near the water to see how the environment is so important for us, and how he ended the entire program with planting of the trees. How nature is very important and how nature can be very therapeutic for the children. So it's not just about the environment, it's also about how you look within and how you derive that from the nature. So it was extremely important. And he's been doing it in the Bharat Mandapam for so many years. And he's been meeting the children where he was on the stage. But this kind of an interaction where absolutely the humane side of his came out, the way he was interacting like any elder of the family would interact, and in the nursery, it was absolutely amazing.
Dr. Gupta, let's also speak about, since you're a principal yourself, what do you think, why is it so important that, the Prime Minister of the nation is actually talking to the students, advising them not to take so much pressure? And also, he's not doing it for the first time. It's an annual event. He does it every year.
So, the new national education policy, which is absolutely transformative in nature, has given all the recommendations that our Honorable PM gives to the children during this program. So, there is a lot of importance which is being given to the counseling of the children. We have seen over the past so many years that the children under depression, under pressure, they take the steps where they go up to the point of no return. So it is important that we all talk to the children about collaboration, about the team spirits, and not just about the competition. Because it's important that they understand that it is not just these high stake examinations that are important in life, but it is also important that you be confident about what you are doing. You set your goals, you follow those goals, and it is important to live this beautiful life in a manner that is absolutely befitting to the humans who have taken birth here. So it's very important that these children grow up without the pressure. It's important that they innovate. It's important that they become the job givers instead of just the job seekers. It's important that they realize the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister of Make in India, local for global. It is important that they remain fit. It's important that they play, they also get medals for the country in sports. So it's not just about the academics for these children, but it is also getting accolades in the various other the streams, whether in sports or performing arts or visual arts. That is important. So it has to be absolutely very, very holistic. So that's why we all look forward to him speaking about it, because many a times when you try to guide the parents, it is their aspirations that they're trying to fulfill through the children. So the families put unnecessary pressure on the children to do some particular to follow some particular streams. That is why so many children are only giving the JE examinations or the NEET examinations. There's so much more to do. So one has to look around. And with him coming up with all this and giving so much of importance, it's easier for us in schools to talk to the parents about it. Not just that, it is also the teachers. All of us have been teachers for past 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, and the education that was going on before this transformative policy came in, it was more repetitive in nature. It was more dependent on the rote memorization. That is why the children are not able to take the risks. The children are not able to invent and innovate. But this policy gives an opportunity to the children to do much more than just the academics. And hence, the teachers are rethinking about the entire education pattern. They are unlearning, they are relearning. So it's absolutely amazing the way he comes down and interacts with everybody.
Absolutely. And also, Dr. Gupta, this is very insightful and more of the engaging. This has come with a very new avatar. If we were to look at the new episode of Pariksha Pe Charcha this time around this year specifically, what are the learnings and the key highlights that you have picked up from today's session though?
So, everything I would say, how to bring in the importance of eating right, how to bring in the importance of giving rest to your body, also how to set your own goals, not to compete with others, how environment and climate is extremely important, how it is important to relate what you're doing in your classroom to the real world. Again, how not to only give stress to this high stake examination, but go through the entire education for the purpose of learning, for the purpose of lifelong learning. How the parents should not pressurize the children into doing what they want the children to do, but let the children be and decide what they would like to do and take the ownership of their own learning and take the ownership of their lives. How the children should be able to talk to people around them, how the parents should lend a ear to their children rather than just advising them what to do. Be good listeners. How the children should be good listeners also, how they should observe what is going on around them. And again, how not to take this exam as a stressful event, but celebrate what you've learned through the entire year or the entire schooling years and reproduce what they've learned now. So all this has been an absolute learning experience. Again, I would again say that the way he's interacted with the children is not just with the examinations in focus, but how they should be, treating themselves as students. That has been the highlight of this particular program.